Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is November 20th, 2022. Howard, you're eating raspberries. So raspberries are for bear markets, blueberries are for bull markets, right?
So I think that's a perfect, and blueberries are the thing, but I don't know. The only thing I do a lot of is eat raspberries, and I seem to be doing okay. I love raspberries. Do you like raspberries?
Yeah, I love them actually. Yeah.
What do you think a raspberry costs in Bulgaria? Like $40 a raspberry?
Similar to what it costs here. Very similar prices, especially now out of season.
What's happening at home? Is inflation crazy in Bulgaria?
It's been pretty crazy, yeah. I mean, similar to here, really not a huge difference, a little bit higher because of energy costs. But the economy is still doing well. So
Pull
maybe
up the Bulgarian ETF. Is there one?
I don't think there's one. Sorry.
Okay.
The market is too small for any of the ETF providers to create one right now. So
Good to see you. I haven't slept in like a week. I got the 8 sleep mattress finally.
Really? So it's helping, huh?
I don't know. It's only been 3 days. I'm in the 30%. My sleeps are 30%. Like I kind of know I sleep like shit, but
wow.
Now I have an app that tells me that.
Good. So what are you going to do with that knowledge?
I don't know. And then the dog sleeps with you, so it's like, who knows if it's the real number?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at these. Oh, purple kind of bounce. I remember these were like hot stock.
Yeah, I'm just checking on all the sleep stuff. What was the other one? The sleep number, right?
You know what's sad? We know way too many tickers. I don't know what the other one is.
Yeah.
It's this one, sleep number. Huh. Yeah, my sleep number is suck. All right. So take it away. Let me know what the hell's going on. I can't take it anymore.
Okay, so we had a huge post CPI rally like what 10 days ago when the CPI came just a little bit below expectations, not a whole much, like 8 versus like 8.2, something like this. And obviously we had like a 2-3 day huge ramp on big volume. Everything went up, and the worst hit stocks went up the most, like tech. And last week, I think it was completely normal to see some form of consolidation or pullback. This is exactly what we saw. S&P and the Nasdaq 100 pulled back to their 10-day moving averages. The small caps pulled back to their 20-day moving average and held and bounced. So for the most part, normal. I mean, typically November is a strong, seasonally strong stock month for stocks, especially after the midterm elections. So, and next week seasonally is the strongest stock. The strongest week for stocks.
Oh, Thanksgiving, so it'll be closed a couple days.
Yeah, so maybe we see continuous strength until the end of November, and then as I mentioned last week, I think as we approach the next FOMC, the next Federal Reserve meeting on December 14th, I kind of expect some people to start taking profits ahead of the meeting, just in case the Fed remains hawkish. But that's just my assumption. We don't know if that will happen. Plus, it's end of the year. Most stocks have been down, so we might see some selling for tax reasons. We don't know.
What's working? I could go on and on.
There are quite a few names and sectors that are working. Many of them are like boring businesses. Like Pepsi holding well, setting up. McDonald's holding constructively, setting up. A lot of those boring companies, boring businesses are
they have to be I mean, prices have got it anyways, but yeah, I mean, they're not growth companies, but
look at this TJ Maxx, they hit all-time highs last week. It's
give me a discount. Give me a weekly on that.
Discount apparel.
I know my wife shops there. Jesus.
So
but Target's going the other way. Target's going.
I know, but that gap down was actually bought. So yeah, I mean, they missed earnings by a lot, and they opened near 150, and deep buyers.
I wouldn't know a TJ Maxx if I drove by one. Like I don't know. What do people do there?
I think like TJ Maxx and Ross, they buy cheap inventories from other retailers that they were not able to
You
sell.
just sounded like Trump, inventories. It's like strategic.
So,
Inventories. It's like a
so
marijuana.
they buy
That's another
they
word
buy
that you can say.
in bulk everything that other more reputable chains could
That's
not sell.
Reputable.
And then they.
By the way, I'm not
sell
telling
them.
you to say these words. You've chosen to say them yourself.
Yeah.
Uh,
One of us has to be funny, right? So
what a shit show this. So wait a minute. I got Pepsi, TJ Maxx, McDonald's. You've got energy.
I mean, energy has been pulling back lately. I mean, as you know, oil has been pulling back. I mean,
Listen,
still holding.
I'm starting to really believe. I mean, this is the best we can do with the dollar, and so you had this great pullback in the dollar, and you had this great pullback in rates. So now they're probably oversold. And again, I hate saying that, but they're in bull markets, so oversold. And yet the tech couldn't even really get a 10% rally. But
it's a decent rally.
I know, but like considering how anyways, I hate to say it, but that's not much of a rally. Considering the carnage, we're still well below the 200-day. And we've got Pepsi. And then you look at the financial, like Capital One, now they're all starting to really like the credit stuff, right? Like hit the 200-day. Like I'm watching this because, and you look at a firm, like, I mean, is this going to go bankrupt? Like, and if a firm goes bankrupt, like, do people owe it money? Like someone, the debt lives on. So a firm is like the poster child for how bad. I linked to this article about the fintech mania.
Down 92% from its.
Yeah, but I mean, worthless, right? Like, in a sense, because someone's just going to buy like mark down the debt. Like who? Like no one even. These companies were just giving out buy now, pay later. So let's look at Square, which is probably like the poster child for like fake growth because of it's wrapped around this cash app that they spend a fortune on. So they're like, and they paid 27 billion for an Affirm copycat. So it's just like, man, I mean, Square's a great product, but then they wrapped it in a financial scheme. And who knows how tied they, I mean, I kind of still believe in Bitcoin, and obviously I believe in crypto, but like, man, like these financial fintech, like these fintechs are a mess. Coinbase, what else?
Is that new all-time low? Almost new all-time
yeah, it's an all-time low. It's going to see it this week. Yeah, it's kind of getting excited about, with rising rates, that Robinhood can make a bounce, and now you got the FTX stink all over all of fintech now. So that idea is off the table until we get back above 12. So every like idea I have is based on some kind of old world thinking or pre-2020 thinking of growth.
But Goldman Sachs after earnings, basically a straight line, basically.
Yeah. Well, no one can touch it, right? Like they control, they've got 100 years of ripping people off behind them. Where's BlackRock? Has that rallied? And we talked about Goldman, like that's the leader, No, BLK, I think, is BlackRock. Look out.
I don't know this one. I don't think I've traded it ever. So yeah,
no,
similar.
But I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. So the big financials, JP Morgan, they're hanging in there in Schwab. I don't know, like, but I work, I'm watching that credit stuff like Capital One and Affirm, and I'm like, oof, Square, and even PayPal just can't get any lift. And so just like people are secretly tapped. And I think you just got to continue to be super careful. But but the financials are like the money centers seem fine.
Yeah.
How are the airlines doing?
They're doing actually pretty good. I mean, not on a longer term basis, but
right.
This earnings season, they had this earnings season. Most of them raised guidance, and
it's really weak out there.
they've been able to even increase salaries. I mean, it just depends on your time frame, depends on the sector you're looking at. Like we're still seeing some strength, like in select biotech names, even though they're super volatile, probably not for most
What's the
people
market cap of
as
this?
individual stocks. 11.5 billion.
Okay, that's interesting. Or what are some other leaders out there? I haven't had showing Moderna
I mean,
has having a good year.
VRTX, I guess another one super volatile,
Yeah.
near all-time highs.
Yeah, we talked about that. So biotech, which I know nothing about. All right, so you could,
Biogen, Amgen, like
yeah,
they're acting constructively near all-time highs.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I just think that's where the computing power goes. That's relatively useful. There's all kinds of private companies that I hear about every day that are speeding up discovery and rechanging compounds. Take old drugs and make them more effective.
speaking of payments, Stone, they
This
had
is the
big earnings.
Brazilian Square. This is which I used to own in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, they beat estimates on Friday, trying to break out, but 12 is a huge level, maybe 12.50 if they can clear that.
Yeah, there's too much, like I said, like this was a high flyer. If you go back to the monthly, right? Like look at that descent. Right. So they're starting to base even China. Like so again, like
Oh yeah, absolutely. China was crazy last week.
It just shows that people still want to speculate.
So many gaps.
Yeah. So the urge to speculate is still there.
That's the one Chinese stock that is kind of looking constructively. PDD, I think the other one was like PDU.
People have been burned so many times. Like, what if that's your best idea as a Chinese, company based on where their policy is at and where, yeah. Oh, Future. That's interesting. So that's the Robin Hood.
It's a brokerage. Yeah. Here's the weekly.
Huh.
Yeah.
And what about Tiger, TIGR?
Yeah, similar.
So I don't know. I mean, there are some what do you call it? Seeds of but those were the question,
short-term strength. Like restaurants are doing well too. Look at this one. Restaurant brands broke out after earnings, following through. Let's look at weekly. I mean, weekly not looking that hot.
Chipotle's, where's Chipotle's?
Chipotle. Yeah, nowhere basically.
Yeah. So again, like the money's not coming out. So the indexes still have money flow.
It's rotating. Interestingly, like coal stocks are still some of the hot looking stocks.
People will look at growth stocks one day and go, you could have had a 20 bagger, like just
from 1 to what 30.
Yeah. So this will happen eventually in growth. Wow. The leverage in this must be insane. And what's the market cap on this coal stock?
4 billion.
Yeah. So
in a P ratio of 3. So
this was a few hundred million. So this was like a penny stock, like not that long. Okay, so that's it. I mean, India looks to be the emerging leader. I don't follow many Indian stocks, but I can
Here's the India 50.
Yeah. So it's back above its 200-day. That's probably not very tech. I don't know if that's tech focused, but there's a lot of people talking Indian stocks on stock twits, and I can just tell.
Yeah, definitely looking better than South America for sure. And let's see, Brazil. Yeah,
South America is still very tied to
Germany. Yeah, actually, Germany's not looking that
That's interesting.
So
Germany's up 25% off the lows.
Yeah.
That could be because of Deutsche Bank rallying. I mean, I don't know how tight it is to Deutsche.
Well, the euro had a pretty big rally against the dollar recently, so.
Yeah. But I just think it's like, and then this week will be a lot more stress in the crypto. It's very fringe cryptos now, what, 800 billion, the market cap? So it's still
like, what, 80 times more than it was, what, 7-8 years ago?
It's still 8 times more, but it's nothing. Amazon's lost $1 trillion itself in market cap. First company to ever lose $1 trillion in market cap. Bitcoin's lost crypto's lost about 2 trillion since the top. So you can see it's not, we can make fun of crypto, but like Amazon's the first company to ever lose $1 trillion in market cap. I think Tesla will be the story of the next year, right? If they can just kind of muddle through this. well, Elon's, sidetracked at best. So, I mean, that just the weight of that on a month. That's the where's the monthly at?
So this is weekly, and this is monthly.
So monthly, I mean, the relative strength 14, a lot of red bars, huh?
Yeah, I mean, definitely has
Not
been
sure.
acting a lot weaker lately. You can see it on all time frames compared to the indices. You can see
Just
it's
feels
a
very heavy, but this is
relative
where you
strength
get
rating 14, and it's been declining. So
in this market, every time this has happened, the gap has been lower when but again, we're really long in the tooth or longer in the tooth in this bear market. So I wouldn't short this, but I would not be surprised to see this trade
even
below.
though they're in a really hot industry, like in solar, like all the other solar stocks are looking really good. I mean,
Yeah.
the breakouts have been failures for the most part, but they're not breaking down either. And just if you go through all the names in the sector,
Yeah.
you see mostly constructive price action all around.
Yeah. Well, you know a lot of names here. Yeah. So solar, some energy. This is still where the strength is. Some consumer brands.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So solar looks and some biotech. So there is strength.
Yeah, and some of the boring
First solar. What a
businesses like
I just
TJX and others. Yeah.
yeah.
What
Yeah,
was the other
the
one?
one amazing growth stock that I had kind of given up on just because I had too many is Taser. What is it? X.
Oh yeah, they had a great quarter, Howard,
Yeah,
and follow
great.
through
It's
too
just a
after.
great business.
Yeah.
It's just a great business because they have that private cloud that I used to talk about, right? Like every cop wears that chest camera. And so like they have their own.
Almost all-time price.
Yeah.
Wow, look
To
at this.
myself. Yeah, what a company. And they're in Arizona, and I know a bunch of the people there.
25 cents in 2023.
So if you think about it,
$100.
is our leader. What's the market cap? Just 13 billion. Tiny company relative to like how amazing their products are. And I hated the name change, but the product just continues. And America's such a gun country and such a big country, and it just feels like that there's something going on there. It feels like that kind of brand could be a $50-100 billion brand just because of the products. And we want to like fix a lot of crime in this country, and you're not going to fix it with bullets. So anyways, that's one that people should have on their screen. It's probably the best looking true growth company.
Yeah, I would wait for a pullback with
yeah,
20
I'm
days.
just saying, like I
chase.
followed this company forever, and it's just an interesting company. So these are the defense stocks now.
Yeah, I'm just checking on them, and for the most part, they're kind of holding well.
I hate it, but yeah, they look at them, and the healthcare stocks too.
Yeah, and also the steel stocks. That I was going to show you a couple names: STLD, Steel Dynamics, and what was the other one? Nucor.
Yeah,
kind of setting
this is why the S&P and the Dow are just holding in there versus the Nasdaq. All the weaknesses in the growth stories of the last bull market.
Yeah, cloud was hit also last week too. Again, look at this.
Yeah, that just does not look good.
Yeah.
So the tech you need to avoid, and if I think if I was going to buy an index on weakness, it would be the S&P over the Qs. But I don't know. I'm just below the 200-day, and I was reading from my technical analyst guys that I followed that December in a bear markets, Decembers are generally weak. And I remember a few horrific Decembers that we had in 2008. And
let's check them out. S&P, what was it? 2008 December. All right, so December, I think it was up in 2008. Right, after kind of bad November, December was up. So it just depends. And then what was the other one? 2002. Where is it?
Doesn't go back that far.
2002 was down. No, it's right here. It's this red bar. So basically gave up the gains from
Yeah.
from November to, so it just depends.
Yeah, it just depends. Not a lot of data
Yeah.
sets, but I feel like hoping for a rally, but you know, hope doesn't usually the
It has
price
held
action.
the, what is this? I think this is the 50 months moving average.
Yeah.
So far.
S&P still looks very good
Let's
technically
see
in
the
the
Q.
long term.
The Qs are holding it too. So unless they kind of break it in next year, there is a chance.
By one short here, it's just like, you know, a lot of this is like what will Apple's next move be? Wow, the Dow Jones looks great. Where are the trannies at? No offense to the
I mean, they all kind of look similar, I guess.
no, trannies have held in there. Huh. Have the railroad stocks been bouncing? Yep.
They look
Okay.
the same. This
Listen,
is a monthly chart, Howard.
yeah. No. But I'm saying like a lot of stuff staying on trend here. It's trying to hold.
Yeah, look at this. If you
Long-term
compare it
trend.
to 20 years ago, it's like what?
20 years.
I don't know. A
10
lot.
bagger, 15 bagger. A lot of volatility in there as there should be because they're stocks. So anyways, you know, listen, I think you got to wait. You know, where to put money to work, I just want to see more growth strength. But it doesn't look like you're going to see it with the Amazons and the cloud stuff.
Yeah, I seem to need a lot more time to build new bases.
Yeah. But again, Alphabet's kind of holding these things. I think a lot will come with Tesla because if it breaks here, it could easily break 100.
Yeah, I mean, it can, 150.
Anyways, all right. Well, have a great week. We didn't really.
All right.
I mean, what are you doing, Ivan? Are you like short term? You're just mostly cash?
I mean, overnight, I'm still mostly cash. I have a few positions, like definitely more than what I had a month ago. So I'm just taking some swings. But yeah, most of what I've done this year is short term, just because this is the only way to make money in these markets. I would love to hold longer term for at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
But if I do that, I'm not making money, so I'm not doing it. So
yeah, inflation seems to be right here. Used car numbers are way down, prices
but that's such a tiny market, and plus they're looking at like the old cars, like the old. If you look at all the electric vehicle
that's what the
cars,
Fed looks at. I'm not saying I look at it, but it's what the Fed looks at. So anyway, what a disaster that is, Carvana.
Most people can.
And then I think the same thing with Open Door, which is kind of like Carvana of retail.
Was this the one? Open Door.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, if I look at like the darlings, well, Zillow got out of the Open Door business too late, you know, a little maybe too late. Redfin, I don't know if this is a leading indicator for actual real estate prices, or I just think it says more about bad business models in the end of that era, like Affirm, Square, you know, SoFi, all the neobanks, stuff that I can never put my head around for our fund, like just paying for customer acquisition without really having
the crypto bank.
Silvergate's like kind of a crypto.
Yeah.
But FTX could bring this one
getting hit pretty bad. Silicon Valley Bank.
Silicon Valley Bank's getting hit because they have much bigger tie to venture capital than people really understand. You know, they lend money to partners, they lend money to funds against capital calls. There's a lot of hidden risk, but I have been watching the stock, but it's acting so much worse, you know, than the other banks because of its tie to seed. Sure, because of its ties to venture capital and growth. And this is a true venture capital. I'm seeing it all around me. I mean, like funds just can't raise money. And this is the first time since, you know, 2010. So it's been a 12-year, 11-year, you know, raise whatever size money you want. And I think, you know, FTX is just another hammer in this growth story. You know, SoftBank, all the usual suspects, you know, not doing their diligence and in this. So again, this is kind of, you know, at least it's happening, and we'll just find out on what's on the other side of it. But like Silicon Valley Bank is got a lot more tied to this And that's why the stock is a met. Wow. So that's the stock hit 800 at one point. So it's now
Yeah,
7.
800 to 200. That's a pretty big drop.
Still a long-term uptrend in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody
right.
have a great week. Be careful out there. This is going to be, there's a lot of landmines out there still, I believe. But as I've been pointing out, there's some areas where money's rotating into. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Howard.
See you.